Hey, this is Meredith's husband. I've got some SEO advice for you, but I'm going to keep it really simple so that you can understand it, so it makes sense, and most importantly, so you can actually use it. Today is the SEO Refresh.
Oh, what does that mean?
I get the question a lot, oh, we haven't done SEO, or I haven't done SEO for 6 months or a year or 2 years. How do I do a refresh?
Oh.
I'm going to dedicate a month or 2 months or 3 months or a week or a day or whatever. And so what should I do? It's kind of a question I get.
Oh, kind of like a jump start?
No, like, you did SEO. Let's say you have done some SEO in the past, but you haven't done. Imagine that situation, baby.
I can't. I don't know.
If you had done some SEO in the past and then something happened and you didn't do SEO for a while, and now we need to get back into SEO.
Get back into the groove.
That's the SEO refresh. Now, I don't
get back to the SEO gym.
I don't necessarily recommend this method of SEO. It's better. You'll get better results if you develop some sort of monthly routine or habit, and your growth is more steady. However, you know what happens? Life happens. And so that's not a possibility. The monthly routine is not a possibility.
It's not always. This is true.
So this is better than nothing. Doing an SEO refresh, maybe doing SEO once a year for a week or a month.
Yeah. Sorry, that's
Buster.
Marcel
agrees.
He's got his squeaky toy.
If that's what's possible, I want to tell you how to do it.
Okay. The best way to do it if we're going to do it. If
this is what you got, I want you to do it right. So
a little exercise is better than zero exercise.
That's correct. That's correct. And I have old clients. Like just recently, I had an old consulting client come back and want to do essentially an SEO refresh. Not an old client in their age, but a former client. Yes. So this is kind of what I do for them.
All right.
This is what I would do. So there's 5 steps.
Okay.
5 things that are going to be helpful in this situation.
Excellent.
I'm going to go through them now.
Please do.
Are you ready?
I am.
Okay. Number 1 is Google Search Console. If you don't have Google Search Console, you should. If you're doing an SEO refresh, you should have Google Search Console. So this is the first thing I do. If I get a new consultant client, the first place I go is Google Search Console. I look at their performance. What is their visibility like in Google? And by visibility, I mean, what are their impressions? Yeah.
Hello, I'm a clown. No. Sorry.
Okay.
Can I do one more?
No, thank you.
Okay.
What keywords are getting impressions? What pages are getting impressions?
And how do you know that?
You just go to performance. I've talked about Google Search Console before.
Yes.
So maybe I'll try to find an episode where I do that, and I will link it below.
Perfect. For all those that are just tuning in for the first time.
Right.
Hi.
So you look to see what keywords are doing okay, what pages are doing okay. One way or one method, a trick that I like to use when doing this is when you look at the Google Search Console performance graph, there are some filters at the top. Yeah. I choose filters and I say queries excluding your brand name or your personal name, because it's not really important to me in doing SEO to know how many people are already searching for you by name. That's not, hopefully you're going to appear top if somebody searches for Meredith Zinner photography. So I like to exclude those searches so that the information I'm getting is more representative of generic keywords, children's photography, Brooklyn, New York, family photography, things like that. I want to make note of which blogs are getting the most traffic directly from Google. Okay. Yes. And I just right now, I just want to make note of that.
Yeah.
And I want to make note of, you can drill down. It's very easy to drill down in Google Search Console. When you see a popular blog, you click it. It's just going to give you information for that page. Then you look to see what are the keywords leading into that page by just clicking on the tab called Queries. It'll tell you what keywords. Yeah.
Drill down. What does that mean?
Drill down is when if you're looking at a report, you're looking at a website, and let's say there's a piece of information that seems interesting to you. You click on it, and more information is available you're drilling down into that information by clicking on it.
Okay.
You've never heard the term drilling down? Drill down?
No.
Okay, it's like a drop-down menu?
No, I figured it. Yeah, I mean, I do. Yeah, but it's just, okay.
Okay.
As we
So you've got your most popular blogs and
Yes.
the keywords for those
Yes.
blogs.
Yes.
And then you want to look at just overall trend. And Google Search Console will give you the last 16 months. That's where I like to start.
Okay.
Before that, it doesn't maintain information past 16 months.
Okay.
But
Then
I
you
just want to
drill
look for
down.
trends. Then you drill down.
Mm-hmm.
Then you drill down.
Got it.
Okay. If you see any, and what I'm really doing here is just checking to see if there's any really alarming changes.
Right.
Like sometimes somebody changed their website platform and they forgot to do something, and you will see very clearly when that happened. And so you know, okay, something happened when I was doing that. What was it? And then you can go back and undo it.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm really looking for. Ideally, I want to look to see, hope to see an upward trend in the number of impressions.
Drill up.
And remember, there is an option to look at average ranking.
Yeah.
Do not use that
Oh.
option
Okay.
unless you are looking at just a single keyword. Never use the average ranking for multiple keywords because it's going to be misleading.
Oh.
Because usually what happens is as you optimize your white,
My white.
I don't know what that means.
I like my
As you optimize your website,
Guess wide is very, very short for website. Right?
as you optimize your website, hopefully more keywords are going to be gaining visibility. So in the beginning of this, if you're looking at this chart that shows your average ranking over time, if you have just a few keywords in the beginning, and then you start to add more keywords as time progresses, the keywords that you add are going to begin with lesser ranking.
Yes.
So your average keyword ranking will be going down over time,
down.
which is going to look like something bad is happening when
But-
in actuality something good is happening and more keywords are gaining visibility. So
you go.
don't look at average ranking
Do
for multiple
not.
keywords.
No.
Okay, so the second step, the second thing you want to look at also in Google Search Console is the Sitemap page.
Sitemap Page.
This is where you submit your sitemap to Google Search Console. You must submit.
Must.
I'm going to get a t-shirt that says you must submit, and then in small letters, your sitemap. I'm going to be so popular.
You already are.
But what we're looking for here is we want to see, are there any problems? Are our pages not getting indexed? Are they not getting into the Google search engine
And yeah,
because of some issue? And this is where you're going to find that out.
exactly.
So the navigation or the link that you want to click on in the left-hand side of Google Search Console, I believe is called Pages. And when you click on that, and it's underneath the option called Indexing. So underneath Indexing, click on Pages. It will show you two boxes,
Yes.
one in green, the pages that are indexed, and it'll show you a number,
Yes.
and then it'll show you a box in gray,
Yes.
pages not indexed. So inevitably, you're going to have some pages that are not indexed. You're going to have category pages, tag pages, author pages, login page, etc. It's normal to have some of those. What you want to look for is, are your main pages not being indexed? Your main website pages or your blog pages? If your if your category pages and your tag pages are not indexed, that's fine.
Okay.
You also want to check, do you have any old subdomains? I see this a lot. It's like people
What
used to
does
have,
that
they have an old blog and it's on blog.meredithsinnerphotography.com. Anything that's the www,
Yeah.
that's technically a subdomain. That's
Okay.
yeah. Okay. I knew I would lose you there. Anything before your main domain name.
Yeah. Yeah.
So clients.meredithsinnerphotography.
Yeah.
Blog.meredithsinnerphotography.
Yeah.
Something else
Cute fish.
Those are subdomains.
Okay.
And if a lot of times I see people, they have their blog set up that way at some point, and then they just kind of forget about it, and it just lingers on. If that's the case, if you have a blog or any other subdomain there that you don't want in Google, it'll appear here, and this would hopefully indicate that you should go get rid of it, delete it. If it's no longer active, it's not doing you any good. It might be doing you harm, so you want to get rid of it. That's basically what I'm checking for there.
Oh, yeah.
How many of your pages are indexed, and do you have any old stuff out there?
Yeah. And you if the old stuff is out there,
Kill it. No. Show it the door. Okay. Step number 3, a SEMrush audit.
oh.
So what we did by going to Google Search Console is we went to see, hey, is Google telling us about any problems? That's step number one. Step number two is we go use an external tool to tell us about problems. Now, there's going to be some overlap. Is if SEMrush is telling you about a problem, it may also be reported in Google Search Console as a problem. If it's in Google Search Console, it's of the utmost importance. Those are the things you want to take with.
Okay, so
then you do
Google.
SEMrush. Yeah. Then you do SEMrush. You do an audit.
Yeah. How do you do the audit?
The site audit tool.
Yes.
So you if you have a SEMrush account, you can do this with a free account.
Ooh.
You begin a project.
Yes.
Enter your domain name.
Yes. My domain.
And then once you have a project, inside that project, you use the site audit tool. It's very easy to do. It's a couple clicks and it just starts going. It's going to come back and tell you if you have it's roughly 100 different types of errors on your site.
Oh, boy.
And these are sometimes important, sometimes
platter of
less
errors.
Important, sometimes not important at all. But it's going to really tell you pretty much everything.
Thank goodness.
What you're looking for, or what I look for.
We do that for our personality. Sorry.
I can tell you what's working and what's not working. I can tell you exactly where
all the wonderful perfections, endless joys.
So if you are doing an SEO refresh, presumably you have done this at some point. So in coming back to this, you want to see if your score has fallen. The site audit is going to give you a score. If it has fallen, and it inevitably does, if you're blogging at all, if you're active at all on your website, your score will decrease over time. Hopefully not sharply, but you want to see, is it still above a 92?
Yes, that's
and we want to check for a couple errors that are common when you're just maintaining a website and doing blogging, etc. The issues that you might see are things with the title tags.
Yes.
They might be duplicate. They might be too long.
Yes.
Maybe they're missing.
Yes.
Those are the issues you'd want to look for. And the meta descriptions. Meta descriptions also might be duplicate, might be missing, might be too long. You want to fix those.
Right.
The other thing that I would look for, and it's not technically an error in the site audit tool in SEMrush, so it won't lower your score. It's actually in the notices. When you run a site audit, there's going to be 3 categories of issues: errors, warnings, and notices. Wow. You just have a 100% glazed look over your face.
Well, I'm trying to differentiate.
I'm pretending you're focusing.
No, I am. This is my focused face.
Okay.
It's my focus. Okay, let's differentiate between those 3.
Yeah. So in the notices section are things that are not going to be lowering your score. Things that are usually not a problem, but that, hey, you should be aware of. That's why it's called a notice. Hey, something in that category, which I don't think should be in that category, I think it should be a warning, is permanent redirects.
Ooh.
If you have permanent redirects, you want to resolve that issue.
Absolutely. And what are permanent redirects?
Redirects are, and again, this happens to any site almost that has any sort of activity, is you have a link somewhere on your website from one page to another page.
Yes.
And then something happens. That page changes, or it changes URLs, or you take that page down or something like that. And then your link gets redirected, but you don't change the link. So what happens is that link is still there. It goes to that page, which is now gone. Oh. And then there is a redirect, a permanent redirect, which then sends users to the correct page. Right. Now, for users, this doesn't really matter. It slows down the site a little bit, but it's not a huge deal. However, Google does not like this because
it's all these people just pointing to something and there's nothing there. And they're just waiting on the street corner, pointing to nothing.
If you try to,
tiny people,
imagine what the Google bot does all day long is it just follows links and sends information back to the main Google office in outer space or something. I don't know. So if all that Google bot is doing is crawling links every day, probably trillions or whatever is bigger than trillions numbers of links every single day. And if everybody did this, had a redirect, you're doubling the amount of work that they need to do. That's
exhausting.
So that's why you don't
Google bot.
That Google bot. Yeah,
we need to GoFundMe for that poor Google bot. Give it a vacation.
So those are the things that those are the typical issues that I would find when doing a sort of SEO refresh. Okay, so step number 4, blogs. So remember I mentioned when you're in the Google Search Console, make note of your blogs that are most popular?
Yes.
Now we want to go look at those and consider how can we make them better? They're already doing well. We want to try to get more out of them.
How do we do that?
I'll get to that in just a second.
Good.
But this is a really good kind of rule to keep in mind when doing SEO, I think, is to go with what's working. If something is doing well, you can make it do better faster and easier than you can take something that is not doing well and make it do better.
This is true.
Right? Okay, so that's the goal here is we take our good blogs, we want to strengthen them more and then expand. So how do we do this? The first thing you do is you just go look at it as a user. Now, remember, you know what keywords are leading into this blog. So you know what people have searched for when they arrive on this page. So put yourself in their shoes. Does it make sense? Is it helpful?
They're so roomy. That was me in their shoes.
Sure.
Okay.
Then,
yes.
The second thing you want to do is for any of your popular blogs that are getting visibility, getting traffic from Google, you want to link those pages to your money pages, your service pages.
Oh.
And I mean, put a link in the first paragraph of text that links to the most appropriate service page. So the most appropriate service that you offer.
Yeah.
Most relevant to that blog entry. So if you blogged about Penny the Pig, you remember shooting
Penny
the Pig and you blogged about it. So that would be most appropriate to your pet photography page.
Right.
So somewhere in that first paragraph, just a simple text link. Don't make it a button. Don't make it an image. The link's in your navigation. That's not what I'm talking about. Somewhere in the first paragraph, maybe 2 paragraphs, you want to link to your pet photography page somehow. Oh, okay. It's up to you how you want to do that.
Okay.
Not a bad idea if you want to link to that also further in the blog, but definitely don't do it more than twice.
Oh,
once is really all that's necessary.
Yeah. You said a paper link?
Did I say paper link?
You said a something link?
A second link?
No, before that. Not a button, not a but a
you don't
a text
link. Text link.
Okay.
A text link, just regular text, and then try to mention pet photography somewhere in that blog and then link those words pet photography to your pet photography page.
Got it. Thank you.
Then you want to think about how can you expand? Is there a related blog that you could do that would be more closely related to your pet photography page?
That you could create?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because you have whatever that blog was about. In your case, it was Penny the Pig.
Penny the Pig.
And you have your pet photography page. Is there something in the middle, some sort of concept in the middle of those two?
The Brooklyn Fire Department.
Right. But in the middle, I mean...
Would it be that, how about this one? So it was through a second photographing Penny the Pig when another person brought their pig, George. I photographed them and then they hired me because they run a school for autistic kids and needed photos.
That is a great example.
Right?
Not all of it, but the first part where you mentioned somebody saw your blog and they came with their own pet pig.
Wait, somebody saw my photos.
Somebody saw your photos and they came to the fire station, right?
Yeah.
And they owned a pig. They had their own pig.
Yeah.
So that pig was their pet.
Yeah.
So now we're starting to talk about pets. Rather than Penny the Pig at the fire station, we're starting to talk about pets. You see how we've kind of bridged the gap between pet photography and Penny the Pig?
Yeah.
And so because we already have some authority around the search for Penny the Pig, which admittedly is going to be probably small.
No.
At least.
She was on Sarah Silverman. Penny the Fire Pig is now huge.
No wonder somebody saw your photo then. And
yeah.
Remember, because we found this, we identified this blog because it's a popular one.
Yes.
In Google Search Console, meaning Google is giving it some authority. Google likes it, for lack of a better word.
Because it's Penny the Pig.
We want to give
Fire Pig.
We want to give Google, or we want to create more stuff that Google likes. So we know Google likes our website for Penny the Pig. Let's branch out a little bit.
Okay.
And that's going to help us go with what's working rather than fighting to get something new ranked.
Got it.
See what I mean?
Yes.
And we're going to sort of transition or hopefully redirect some of that authority to your pet photography page. Yes. That's the idea here. Okay.
Gotcha. Now it's making sense and the eyes are more clear.
Step
number
5 is your CTA. And this is something I think you should probably do like quarterly, is just revisit your CTA. This is something.
Action.
Yes. test it out. I can't tell you, you're not going to know beforehand what works best. There's no way you can know what will work best beforehand. So test some things out. Change the text in your CTA button for a week or a month and see if it makes any difference. I know this can be a little stressful, cause a little anxiety trying to think, oh, what's going to work? Is this right? There's no perfect CTA text.
Right. It's not trying harder. It's trying different.
Yeah. Good. I just did this for a client, and it stressed me out when I was doing it because I don't know what's going to work. But this is a new client, and the first month that we started working, she had a conversion rate of 0.96%. So less than 1% of the people visiting her site actually contacted her, contacted her business. The second month, just with working with the CTA and some navigation, making some improvements, we moved it up to a 1.57%.
Wow.
The next month, it was at a 2.75%.
That is improvement.
And last month, it was 3.76.
Wow. Okay.
She quadrupled the amount of business her website is getting in 4 months without getting any new traffic.
What?
Now, those are not typical results, but
that's impressive.
Yeah,
it does work.
I thought that was impressive.
Thank you for sharing to all our listeners.
And so next week, we're going to talk about how you can hire Meredith's husband.
Oh, to drill down.
We're going to drill down. We're going to do some major drilling down.
Wow. Yes. For dinner? We can hire Meredith's husband for dinner?
You're the only person I make dinner.
Oh, I feel so special and lucky.
Oh, that was a good one. Okay.
And that's with my left hand.
Oh.
I think I snapped.
Oh, people are going to love this.
That's not going to be it. Hey, thank you so much for listening. We really hope that you find this helpful and useful. And if you do, what you could do for us as a thanks would be to, drumroll please, yes, leave a review. Yes, everybody says it, I know, but it really does make a difference. Take 3 seconds, leave as many stars, say something really nice about what you like about the podcast and maybe why other people would like it. It would mean the world to us, especially my husband. That better? All right, I'm going to try one where I'm not going to be charming.